Hey friends, Wildland Fire, Darren Glabo here, State Fire Meteorologist for South Dakota. We're looking at some interesting fire weather conditions over the next 5 days. So let's just take a look at the forecast. So this presentation is going to cover today, Friday, July 15th, and we're going to go all the way through Tuesday, July 19th. So what kind of things are we looking at? Well, let's get started. Here are the current fuels conditions across the region. We can see that the Black Hills of South Dakota, much of the ERCs or energy release components are above the 80th percentile. A few stations there in the Central Hills are above the 90th percentile. And this is as of yesterday, July 14th. 100-hour fuel moisture is in that kind of 6 to 10% range over far southwestern South Dakota, 10 to 15% range elsewhere. Thousands a little bit more moist than that, at least the modeled stuff. But the thousands were just measured at Whitetail Peak at 9%. So the model coming out of the NFDRS might be getting things a little bit too moist. Maybe in reality, things across the Black Hills are a little bit more dry than that. Looking at the ERCs just kind of regionally, this is for northeastern South Dakota. This is for southwestern South Dakota, southeastern South Dakota, and southwestern South Dakota. Excuse me, this was for the southern Black Hills. The thing I want to point out is this bottom right here is roughly July 4th for each of these ERC charts. But then we've seen this dramatic increase in our ERCs as we've approached today. And so I think that we're going to see that increase in ERCs continue as we continue to dry out. So definitely on an upward trend. The past 7 days precipitation, it's been spotty. You can look at this, you can see some streaks of decent precipitation adjacent to areas where no precipitation has been gotten. And that's really the key. Our precipitation has been so spotty, so variable, where one patch of grass might be really, really dry, and 2 miles away, a patch of grass might be really, really green. So just incredible variability across the landscape. So forecast for today, we're expecting highs anywhere from 90 to 100 degrees. Min-RH 20 to 35%, lowest over, kind of western South Dakota, probably 20% over here, 35% over here. And again, easterly winds, East River, southeasterly winds, West River is kind of where it's at. There is going to be a chance of thunderstorms this afternoon, this evening going to overnight tonight, especially over the Black Hills in southwestern South Dakota. If we look at a simulated reflectivity image or simulated radar image at 1900 Mountain Time, you can see there's a bunch of thunderstorms over southwestern South Dakota. The key threats from these is just going to be gusty winds. There's a lot of energy for thunderstorm winds out there today. So 40 to 60 mile an hour gusts coming out of these thunderstorms, obviously lightning. You are going to see patches of wetting rain, but you're also going to see patches of areas that don't get wetting rains, but probably still get some lightning. So just something to be aware of today. If we do get a start early this afternoon, be aware that those thunderstorms are likely going to come across your area this evening, bringing gusty winds and the problems that are associated with those. Again, scattered wetting rains, but not all areas will see those wetting rains. Tomorrow, Saturday, highs anywhere really from 80 to 90 degrees. Min-RH 20 to 40%. Again, driest on the West River side of the state. Southeasterly winds, 5 to 15 miles an hour, pretty light statewide. Storms are likely over the eastern side of the state with a couple of isolated thunderstorms over the Black Hills. I don't anticipate anything widespread over the Black Hills, but an isolated storm here or there can't be ruled out. Sunday is going to start our drying trend. Warmer temperatures anywhere from the mid 80s to actually close to 100 across the western South Dakota prairies. And our RHs are going to be really starting to get down there, 17 to 40%, driest over the western part of the state, more humid over the eastern part of the state. Southeast winds, again, 5 to 15 miles per hour, pretty light winds, but again, dry conditions, hot conditions leading to desiccation of our fuels. Monday is going to be an interesting day, potentially record-setting heat across the state. There's some disagreement in the models to how hot it's going to be, but I think we'll just leave it at really hot. It's going to be prefrontal conditions. So anywhere in the upper 90s to maybe 106, 108 across the western South Dakota prairies. Minimum RH is going to drop down to that 10 to 25% area, driest, probably just on the east side of the Black Hills. Winds are going to be out of the south-southwest, 10 to 20 miles per hour, potentially some gusts up to 30. Because it's prefrontal conditions. I cannot stress this enough. Monday we'll see prefrontal conditions. That is a key to big fire growth in South Dakota. Sometime Monday evening, we're going to see a dry cold front come through. Those southwesterly winds are going to shift to northwest. After the shift, they could gust from 30 to 50 miles per hour. It's going to be a breezy front. And overnight Monday night, we're going to see really poor relative humidity recovery. Going into Tuesday, it is going to be cooler, but it's going to be post-frontal conditions now. It's actually a drier air mass that's moving into the region. So although the temperatures are going to be cooler, highs anywhere from 80 to 95, The min RHs are going to be about the same in that 10 to 25% range, but we're going to see breezy conditions on Tuesday. 15 to 30 mile an hour winds sustained out of the northwest, but gusts to 45 becomes problematic. We could see an extended period of critical fire weather through Monday night, and into Tuesday, just because of the prefrontal and as that cold front passes, and then postfrontal conditions. So again, fronts, big issues for us in terms of fire weather in western South Dakota, actually anywhere in South Dakota. So just be cautious Monday night into Tuesday. I'll have more information for you all on Monday regarding the situation that we're expecting early next week. Our 7-day precipitation outlook, you can see across South Dakota, not a lot of precip. Most areas are really below a half an inch, even though areas that are getting the rain. But I do want to stress that all of this precipitation you see on this map, this is a 7-day map, all of this is going to fall this afternoon and tomorrow. Sunday through the foreseeable future, we do not expect rain. And so I have a lot of concerns going into next week with the dry conditions and the hot conditions that we're anticipating. Our 8 to 14-day outlook, even looking beyond next week, continuation of hot and dry conditions, kind of as this big upper level ridge just anchors over the region. This brings up a couple of safety issues. Recent precip's been spotty. Again, one area might see cured grasses, an area a couple miles away from it might be green. So don't rely on fire behavior from one fire to make operational decisions on a different fire. The other thing, heat. Heat can kill. It is going to be hot, and we're talking an extended period of heat. And so I just caution everybody, look out for each other, be aware of heat-related illnesses. This chart from the CDC there on the right, just pay attention to each other, watch out for each other, and just stay cool out there, stay hydrated, and eat well. Summary, our fire season's ramping up across the northern Great Plains. It's not just exclusive to South Dakota. We're talking Nebraska, Wyoming, eastern Montana as well. So today, tomorrow, a mixture of wet and dry thunderstorms, strong winds, gusty winds, and some lightning. Sunday through Friday, looking at hot and dry conditions. Monday through Tuesday, potential for an extended period of critical fire weather conditions. Overall, the outlook for the next 2 to 4 weeks, it's not completely apocalyptic, but we're definitely hot and dry. And I do expect that to continue through July. There's my contact information, and I would be happy to answer any questions if you decide to reach out to me directly.